I'd now like to turn our attention to reduced stormwater impact. And at present, when we start to produce hard surfaces such as roofs and parking lots, it basically means that that stormwater, which is now falling on those hard surfaces, has to be managed. It tends to get managed in pipes underground, which are part of a stormwater system. And so one of the ways that you can start to address that demand, which actually there's infrastructure costs, that water has to be piped to a location, dealt with, is to actually produce an opportunity for water to still continue to filter into the ground. And if we utilize these concrete grid pavers instead of asphalt, you don't get a hard surface where water runs off. It actually percolates into the ground. And in that way, you could greatly reduce the impact on that system. And it's got these voids. Eventually, the grass actually grows right over it. It looks like a patch of grass. But the beauty of it is that it can still take the load of a fire truck or vehicular traffic, and is just a beautiful way to manage stormwater. And so you can generally do that as in a side yard where maybe a fire truck needs to get to, or you could actually, in a residential environment, use it for parking your vehicles on. We're planning to do that in a house in Lethbridge just even right now. There's a great building in Winnipeg designed by Prairie Architects, and that building has a very innovative way of utilizing stormwater and managing it. So this is a LEED building. They had designed it so that the roof of the building actually has prairie grasses that would have existed had the building never been built. And on that roof, they've put these prairie grasses in the sod, and when it gets hot, sensors notice that it's warm outside. They take stormwater, which has been gathered and captured in actually used tanks down underneath the building, the Mountain Equipment Co-op in Winnipeg, and they spill that stormwater out over the prairie. And that creates cooling through what is called transvaporation. It's pretty much just the way that our bodies sweat. If we get hot, we start to sweat, that cools us down. So this building, in essence, sweats because the prairie grass ends up using transvaporation to create cooling. Now, oftentimes when buildings are air-conditioned, you're sitting in a draft or a breeze. Well, in the Mountain Equipment Co-op building, it's just jungle cool. It doesn't come from anywhere. It's just cool due to the transvaporation that's taking place on the roof. What a beautiful way to use that stormwater rather than wasting it to the system. They actually now collect the stormwater off of two adjacent buildings, and they actually manage to diminish the stormwater requirements. It's a small amount of taxes. The two buildings that contribute stormwater don't pay taxes on the stormwater system, minor point, but the beauty is that we have a beautiful system where the air is kept cool in the building. There's also sensors on the ductwork so that incoming air is monitored for temperature. Interestingly, Mountain Equipment Co-op also has composting toilets. Isn't that interesting? And they're just there for the experience. Very exciting. Here again, stormwater management on the site is not only through concrete grid pavers, but also through these plastic pavers, which are commercially available, but really have the exact same concept where the water percolates into the ground. And so there you have the precedent of a store in Winnipeg that is doing it very effectively and managing the stormwater in a way that really makes a lot of sense.